Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this evening, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, via Zoom. We never say Zoom, but via Zoom, my brother Alex. Alex, how you doing?
I'm great, man. Reminds me of that song back in the day. All I wanna do is I'm a zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. Just shake your ass.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that with all the Zoom meetings and stuff, that song hasn't made a comeback.
If I was CEO of a company, right, and I was conducting a Zoom meeting, I would totally come out. That would be like my entrance song, to come out. And I wouldn't even appear, right? I would just play that song on the background, and then I would slowly creep through,
Yeah, you'd have to play the edited version if you were the CEO, but still.
Still, I'm the CEO. Fuck it, I can play whatever I want.
Yeah, you, the CEO, play whatever you want. You'd be out of a job. Then you could really play whatever you want.
You're the CEO. We'll see you later.
Exactly. You can't mess around nowadays, man. You get fired quick. Nowadays, you can say anything even kind of inappropriate. Anything that can be interpreted as inappropriate. You're out.
Yeah. It happens at the workplace for the average Joes like myself, and it happens in sports, right? Where now you have to be very, careful how you say it or what you say, and I guess it's just part of how things change in the world, right? Like that's just how it is now. Gotta watch what you say.
It's funny. My kids and I were talking about The Office because my son watches The Office on Netflix a lot, and I was like, I don't think that show, they wouldn't do it today. Like, it wouldn't get off the ground. People would still, like, if it made it on TV, people would enjoy the hell out of it, right? Because it's got a little bit of South Park type of feel to it, right? Like that kind of abrasive, unruly type of thing. But no executive would greenlight that now. They'd be afraid of getting canceled. So there's no way. It would never make it. It would never make it. And that show, if you stop and think about it, is not that old, right? It just went off the air in I think 2012. So it's only 8 years ago. And that's how much we've changed in 8 years.
Yeah. Crazy.
Anyway, enough of that crazy talk. Let's talk about sports. Let's talk about some football. Week 16 is in the books. We're doing this on Tuesday as opposed to Monday like we normally do, but, life happens. So week 16 is in the books. We are 1 week away from the playoffs. Most things, I think, are kind of taken care of, right? I feel confident saying that. Obviously, there's still some moving pieces on what's going to happen, but let's go ahead and start in the AFC, where we'll start at the top. The Chiefs won a ridiculously close game with the Falcons, which I can't believe I'm even saying that, but somehow the Falcons in Kansas City played a really close game with the defending Super Bowl champs. But in the end, all of that talent that Kansas City has won out, and they ended up winning 17-14, I think it was. It was a real nail biter. And now they own the best record in the AFC. So if you want to get to the Super Bowl, you're going to have to go through Kansas City at some point. It's just that simple. I hate to say this, but is Kansas City a lock to win the AFC?
No.
I love saying that to you.
No.
I know how much you hate the word lock.
No, I don't. I mean, no, I don't. Weeks ago, earlier in the season, midway through the season, I probably would have said yes. I don't think they're a lock at all. There's just, I don't know, I don't know, man. Listen, I'm sure we'll talk about them some more, but I'm not even playing the result from yesterday, but the Bills have now, really caught my attention. So, I don't. someone tweeted out that Pat Mahomes has 6 interceptions this season, which is phenomenal, right? Anything under 10 is is a great season,
A
right?
good year.
I mean, he's having an MVP caliber season, okay?
Absolutely. Right.
But they also showed 16 potential interceptions that were dropped by defenses. So
What is this potential I've heard this term now recently. Can you explain to me what a potential interception is? Because isn't every pass potentially an interception?
Okay, well, I spit that word out because it's the word that came to mind. So I'll rephrase it for you. He had 16 passes that were dropped interceptions. There we go.
No, but here's the thing. I don't think. I mean, you may have used the term casually, but I've heard it more than once now. It's like a thing. Like they're measuring this thing called potential interceptions, and I'm like, but it's not. And technically,
yeah, I get
unless
what you're
someone's
saying.
wide open, I mean, look, in the NFL, these quarterbacks throw the ball into some tight windows. Every pass is potentially an interception because all you have to do is have a defender get a hand in there and it gets tipped, it goes up in the air, and who knows who's going to catch it. So it's like that potential interception thing seems kind of hokey to me.
Okay, well, I didn't say potential. Okay, I said he threw 16 passes that were dropped interceptions. I'm just saying, I don't know, something about like their running game is really not all there. I mean, they have Tyreek Hill, great. He's the fastest guy in the NFL. They have Kelsey, the best tight end probably in the NFL. I don't know. And I think home field advantage is not a big deal this season. And I think that kind of plays against the Chiefs a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely home field advantage isn't what it used to be. Although I will say for some teams, there will be significant home field advantage. Like, for example, a team like Buffalo, right? It's a big deal if Miami has to play Buffalo, it's a big deal to play in Buffalo as opposed to Miami, right? If the Saints have to go to Green Bay, that's a much more difficult game than Green Bay coming to New Orleans, right? Because of the weather, I think there are some places that still have a big home field advantage, but you get a team like New Orleans with no fans, and they lose just about all of their home field advantage, right? So it's kind of home field advantage is going to vary a lot more this year, I think, than it normally would.
But no, I mean, to answer your question, no, I don't think I have a strange feeling that the Chiefs are they might fall short of a Super Bowl. They may play in the AFC Championship game, but I don't think they're a lock to
they have a huge advantage this year in the fact that they're going to be the only team to get a bye in the AFC. I think that's a big deal. It gives you a week to kind of recharge and refresh, get over some nagging injuries that they may have here or there. I think it's a big deal. Not to say that they're a lock to win it, because I don't think, I don't really believe in the whole lock thing. But they are going to have a big advantage, and we've said this all year. They're crazy talented. I mean, in spite of some of these close games or whatever, Patrick Mahomes is crazy talented. Kelsey is tremendously talented. Tyreek Hill, if you watch enough football on TV, Tyreek Hill's the fastest man ever. Like, he is fat. Not only is he the fastest human, he is the fastest thing ever. Like, if you put him up against a cheetah, he would smoke the cheetah.
But he is the cheetah.
No, he's faster than the cheetah. In fact,
that's his nickname.
In fact, if they brought back the Flash, he would smoke that dude too.
Well, Hill's nickname is the cheetah. So
you ever hear? I mean, seriously, do you ever watch a Kansas City game on TV? when they talk about Tyreek Hill, I mean, he is literally the fat. Usain Bolt is a fat 400-pound man waddling down the street compared to Tyreek Hill.
Well, he had a crazy play against the Falcons where Mahomes coincidentally threw an interception, and he had a DK Metcalf type of play where he chased down whoever intercepted the ball, and
Right.
he actually caused a fumble. I mean, crazy fast.
Now, but let's be fair. That guy also ran into some traffic. He had some traffic in front of him. It wasn't as good as DK Metcalf. I'm not saying
So
he's
did
not,
Hill. Hill had to jump over somebody.
yeah, but still, it's easier. It's easier to deal with traffic when you're chasing as opposed to when you're leading because you don't know what's behind you, right?
Yeah,
So,
but you lose time when you
no,
have to hurdle over something.
I understand that.
And Hill caused the fumble. DK
That's
Metcalf did it.
Yeah, I still think the DK Metcalf was more impressive because his was just a flat out sprint for sprint. I mean, it was him
Right.
and that Cardinals DB. And I mean, he made that DB look slow, which brings me to another thing. When Seattle plays Arizona, do they not put DK Metcalf against that corner every time and just run a fly route? Right? And have Russell Wilson throw it as far as he can?
Might as well.
Because first of all, DK Metcalf is bigger. Second of all, you now know for sure that he's faster.
That or the Chiefs or the Seahawks can put Hill or Metcalf on the kickoff. I mean, they'll get there before the ball hits the returner.
There you go.
Right?
You know what would be really cool? It would be really cool if Kansas City and Seattle made it to the Super Bowl and the coaches both said, fuck it. There's no one on our team fast enough to cover DK Metcalf, so Tyreek Hill is going to play defense and offense. And then, have Pete Carroll say, well, fuck it. There's no one on our team as fast as Tyreek Hill. DK Metcalf is going to have to play offense and defense. And they went at it every single play. That would be great.
I'll take that. I think that would be must-watch TV.
Yeah, and then inevitably, unless they absolutely had zero catches, that one of them would be the MVP, whichever one won.
So look, the Chiefs. I'm looking at their schedule and the scores, and I gotta say they've been in some really fucking close games.
Yeah.
Beat the Chargers by 3. Beat the Raiders, lost to the Raiders by 8. Beat the Bills by 9. Beat the Panthers by 2. Beat the Raiders by 4. Beat the Bucks by 3. Beat the Broncos by 6. Dolphins by 6. Saints by 3. I mean, fuck. A 14-1 record, and considering all that firepower that the Chiefs have, I would imagine one would think that they would be blowing teams out.
Yeah, they really don't have a lot of blowouts. I mean, they have a couple, but they've got
they're against the Jets and the Broncos.
They've got a lot of 14, 16-point wins. It's kind of weird. But
yeah.
Whatever. Hey, going down the
do you think it goes through them?
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
Going down the AFC, the Bills took care of business and looked incredibly impressive against the Patriots. The Bills are one of those teams that I think could knock off the Chiefs. They did play earlier this year, right? Am I right about that? Or am I missing?
Yeah.
And the Chiefs won in Buffalo. But those regular season games are not always super indicative of how it would go a second time around. Once you've been on the field with a team once, it feels a little different. The Bills took care of business. They've clinched up the AFC East, and with a win on Sunday, they'll be the 2 seed in the AFC. And I hate to say this, but it kind of doesn't matter. If I were them, I would rest some people because whether you're the 2 seed or the 3 seed, they're going to be one or the other with Pittsburgh. It kind of doesn't matter. And it's the same thing for Pittsburgh. I think it's more important to rest starters than it is to, get one more win and be the be the 2 seed as opposed to the 3 seed. What do you think?
No, I think the way the Bills are playing, I don't want those guys taking any time off right now. I want them to keep this momentum going. That pretty much goes for like every team probably. I feel like, but especially the Bills, because I think they got a chance to really do something special during this postseason. So I would rather them keep playing and I mean, look, as of now, they would have to play I don't care who they have to play.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I think they should all play.
See that, and that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. I don't look unless you have to play Tennessee or maybe Baltimore. I really don't. I wouldn't care. If I was the Bills, I wouldn't care. And quite frankly, if I was the Steelers, I wouldn't care either. And it's hard to do that jockeying for a position, right? Because you don't know. Look, you've got Tennessee, Miami, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Indianapolis all at 10-5. One of those teams will not make the playoffs. And then how it ends up seeded between the 4 of them, I mean, the only thing we know for sure is if Tennessee wins, they're going to be the 4 seed. So, it'll be pretty clear for Buffalo or Pittsburgh that they're likely not going to play them. So they would have to play somewhere between Miami, Baltimore, and Cleveland. There's no telling. I think it's better to rest guys, and it's better to, take it easy going into the last week of the season, going into the playoffs, and just let it shake out however it shakes out below you. That's just my opinion. Right?
Well, I think the Steelers have that same mentality as you do because they're resting Big Ben. And I think part of the reason is because they don't want to have to face the Ravens in the first round.
Well,
I think they did themselves a favor by losing, and if they stay the 3 seed, I think that's a huge win for Pittsburgh.
And here's the other thing, and it may be it may have to go on a team by team basis, right? Like Pittsburgh, Big Ben's a little bit older, might be better to rest him. Buffalo, you got Josh Allen, young guy who's in a rhythm. You want to kind of keep him going. Maybe you keep him in, right? So I think that plays into it as well.
And actually, my bad. The Steelers would play the Ravens right now, right?
Right.
So,
but
I'm telling you, man, that's a matchup that the Steelers don't want to see in the first round. That's not going to go well.
Quite frankly, I don't think anyone wants to see the Ravens or the Titans. I think Kansas City, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh are, to me, very good football teams that have a real shot at going to the Super Bowl. But I don't think any of those teams want to see Tennessee, and I don't think any of those teams want to see Baltimore. And quite frankly, I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to see either one of those 2 teams either, because Tennessee is the kind of team that will wear you down, and they will run the ball and run the ball and run the ball, and they will absolutely wear you out. The only way to really beat Tennessee is to jump on them early and score a lot of points, like Green Bay did on Sunday, right? But if you don't get to scoring right away, man, you're in for a long football game with them. And Baltimore, if you think about it, at 10-5, really an exceptional season when you consider the COVID problem that they had for about 4 weeks in there, where they were guys dropping like flies left and right. Even Lamar Jackson, their schedule really got messed up for a while. So I think the Ravens are a real problem. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think they're actually better than 10-5. If they hadn't had that COVID problem, maybe they're at 12-3 right now and not 10-5, and it's a different story. So it's
I'm not exactly sold on the Ravens. I mean, I don't know. We've seen what Lamar Jackson did last year in the playoffs. I mean, they got fucking blown out by the Titans. So I don't know. Yeah, that remains to be seen. He's very good. Hard to defend him, but I haven't seen a good playoff performance from him yet. So I don't know. But if all I'm saying is the Ravens and Steelers, not good for the Steelers, I think. Anybody else, I think, can beat the Ravens.
That would be a hell of a matchup. Now we got to talk a little bit about these teams that are, not quite in. Tennessee plays against the Texans, I believe. Is that right? Yeah. Now they do have to come to Houston, but the Texans really look like a team that has called it quits for the season. And by the way, Deshaun Watson hurt his hand. So, there's talk that he will play, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. So Tennessee looks like they have, I'm not going to say an easy path, but they've got a game that they can handle. So do the Colts, right? The Colts have to play the Jaguars, and they play at home. So you would think the Jaguars want to lock up. The Jaguars have already locked up the number one pick, so they have absolutely nothing to play for. The Dolphins have the Bills, and I think that is probably that's the real key game to me, because that one and the Steelers and Browns. The Dolphins have to win to get in. If they lose, they're out, right? Baltimore
depends on what the Colts do, no?
I think
because right now the Dolphins are in.
Have they played each other?
I don't know, but they're in the standings for the playoffs. The Dolphins are in, and the Colts are out. So I'm assuming.
I understand.
Assuming. Well, if they both lose or win, the Dolphins are in.
Well, I think it's going to depend on how many teams end up tied for that last spot or last spots, right? Because then it goes to head-to-head and all kinds of gyrations, right? If we assume Tennessee wins and we assume that, I think we have to assume that the Colts win too. I don't know. It could get very confusing. It'd be kind of cool if they all won. So they have not played the Colts. So the tiebreaker for them would be conference record, right?
Well, I'm saying the way the standings are right now for the playoffs, right? They're all 10-5. The Browns, the Ravens. If the Dolphins and the Colts both win or lose, they would stay the same, right? And obviously depending on what the others did.
I don't know about that.
Like, if the Colts lose and the Dolphins lose, the Colts are out.
I'm not sure. Hold on. I'm looking it up right now as we speak. The Dolphins have a really tricky situation with having to play the Bills, because you don't know what's going to happen with, right? If the Bills don't rest their starters, if they play a normal scenario, that's going to be tough for Miami, and the game is in Buffalo. So here we go.
So the Colts clinch with a win plus a Miami loss or tie, or with a Colts tie and a Miami loss.
Well, hold on. Indianapolis is in with a win, so they need a win and a loss by either Baltimore, Cleveland, or Miami. One of those three teams have to lose,
right,
for them to get in. And if Tennessee loses and they win, then
or they get it,
right. So they need someone above them to lose, any one of them, right? The Dolphins clinch with a win or a loss by any of the three teams behind them. So yeah, it would be exactly the way it looks right now with the standings. So you just need the team above you or below you to lose. You either have to win or a team below you has to lose. Unless you're Indianapolis, in which case you need to win and have someone else lose. It gets interesting. It gets real interesting for the Browns and the Dolphins because they obviously have tougher matchups against teams that have already clinched their spot. And it's just a matter of, whether they play their starters or not. Do you think Miami gets it done?
And I think the Colts have a tough matchup too. Huh?
The Colts play the Jaguars.
Yeah, but see, the Jaguars already have that number 1 pick. So the coach is playing for his life, and some of the players are probably playing to stay on the team. So they may get a Jaguars team that, is willing to, play Grinch maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, this is true. I think the real tough games are for Cleveland and Pittsburgh. And I think Cleveland, I think Cleveland's got a bit of a COVID issue, which may be a problem playing against the Steelers. The only good thing for them is that it's in Cleveland and Pittsburgh is going to rest Big Ben. And I mean, you would think they would win that game, but, you would have thought they won the game last week against the Jets. If the season was 26 games instead of 16, I think the Jets could make the playoffs.
You know what? I can't wait to see Myles Garrett sack Mason Rudolph.
That's right.
Great.
Mason Rudolph's going to be like, damn, I finally get to start a game, and it's going to be against Cleveland. I'm going to get knocked out.
Mike Tomlin did that shit on purpose.
Huh?
I said Mike Tomlin did that shit on purpose.
Maybe so. So if you had to guess right now, who's on the outside looking in?
Exactly how it is right now. I think the Colts get left out.
I disagree with you. I think the Dolphins are going to lose, and the Dolphins are going to be left out.
That could be. Could happen.
Although I'm a little bit – I think the Colts are going to win easy, and I wonder if Miami will win against Buffalo in Buffalo. And I also do worry a little bit about Cleveland because, again, I think they have a bit of a COVID issue, and it's just – I don't know. If I was a Cleveland fan, I'd be very nervous in spite of the fact that I won't see Big Ben.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
What if Tennessee ends up losing?
Oh my God.
Everybody else wins.
And Tennessee ends up out. Oh my goodness. You know what's really sad is if all 5 of those teams win, there's going to be a team with 11 wins that does not make the playoffs. Yeah. That's heartbreaking. You won 11 games, yeah. and then you look over at the NFC East, and you could potentially have a team with 6 wins make it. Right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Could there be anything more painful than that?
Yeah, that's nuts.
Speaking of the NFC, so Green Bay sits atop the NFC at 12-3. Really played an excellent game against the Titans. And again, that's what you have to do to Tennessee. You have to jump on that team early because if not, it gets real tough real fast. So, they quote unquote did the right thing and took care of Tennessee in the snow. They unless Seattle wins and they lose next week, they will be the number 1 seed and they will get the bye. And they're playing the Bears at Soldier Field in Chicago. Now, mind you, the Bears are in a dogfight for a playoff spot. So that's not going to be a gimme game for them. And the Seahawks have to play the 49ers, who are no longer in the playoff hunt. But those games are not easy in general between the between the Seahawks and the Niners. And quite frankly, Seattle seems to have a habit of making close games out of everything. So who gets the 1 seed?
I mean, I would imagine the Packers beat the Bears, but I mean, I don't know. I guess the Packers. I don't know. The Bears have been fucking playing good lately.
They have. They lost six in
playing good lately.
They lost 6 in a row, and now they've won 2 in a row, and they've looked good doing it. I mean, granted it was against the Jaguars this past week, but look, they took care of business. They did what they were supposed to do, and they get to play this game at home. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Bears win this game. So I worry about the Packers hold on that top spot.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to – I think Aaron Rodgers is going to stick it to Chicago and probably beat them.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
And the Cardinals play who? The 49ers?
The Seahawks play the 49ers in Arizona. So it's not a home
game.
The
Cardinals play the Rams.
Yes. And now the Rams are right now they would be the 6 seed, right? Because Tampa Bay would be the 5, the top non-division winner. And the Rams look like they're in, right, at 9-6. Obviously a win or a tie over Arizona clinches that spot for them. But if they lose, they drop out. And here's the problem for the Rams. The Rams have an offense that has not been very good all year. It's been okay. They've basically lived and died by their defense. And now Jared Goff had surgery, likely not going to play this week. So, this could be a really tough game. The only thing that saves them, or the only help that they have, is that it is in California, in their new stadium. So we'll see. But man, it's looking real dicey for the Rams right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to say that Trubisky is still Trubisky. The Bears are still the Bears, and it's a nice little run, but I think they're still going to come up short. It's
really hard to forget about the fact that this football team lost 6 games in a row, right? It's hard to imagine them winning one game against a good football team like the Packers to get into the playoffs when in the back of your mind, they lost 6 in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we get to everybody's favorite division, the NFC East. I'm really hoping that the Eagles and the Giants win so that every team has 6 wins or less, and a 6-10 team makes the playoffs. Look, I like the Sunday night game. I wish that this was at the same time. I wish they didn't have it this week. I wish they were playing at the same time. So you have the Cowboys in New York to play the Giants, and that's early. That's at noon. And whichever one of those teams wins then gets to go home and watch the Redskins play against the Eagles in Philadelphia and become the biggest Eagle fans ever.
Yeah.
It's going to be very weird for Dallas fans or it's going to be very weird for Dallas fans or Giants fans to have to root for the Eagles on Sunday night. But that's what's going to happen. How do you think? I
kind of like the way they did it.
How do you think those 2 games play out?
Man, I don't know. See, again, these are division games, man. Like, anything can happen. I will say this though, I don't trust the Giants to put up a lot of points like the Cowboys have potential to do. The Cowboys could put up 30 points. So I don't know that the Giants can put up that. Man, I mean, this is a team that averages 18 points on defense, on offense. So I don't know if they can at least get 25 for this game. But it's hard to say, man. These division games, see, this is why I always say division games, man. You just never know how they're gonna turn out. And I actually like the way they did this. I like it's suspense. It keeps the football fan engaged all the way to 10 o'clock at night. I mean, it's pretty good, I think. I like that they didn't do them. Me being a Giants fan, I like that they didn't do it. They're not playing all at the same time. So whether it was a 1 o'clock game and a 4 o'clock game, 1 o'clock, 8 o'clock game, whatever, I like it like this. So I'm cool with that.
To me, the more interesting game of the two is that Dallas-New York game, because you're right. The Giants do not have a potent offense, but Dallas has shown that they have a terrible defense. So which one's going to come and break the other, right? Is Dallas going to finally give up less than 30 points a game and hold the Giants to their usual 18 to 20? Or are the Giants going to explode and come through with 30, 31 points? And then on the other side, sure, Dallas can put up points, but if the Giants jump out to an early lead, and Dallas has to throw the football, you're putting, if you're a Dallas fan, you're putting all of your faith on the arm of Andy Dalton. And I'm not saying Andy Dalton's
not a bad thing.
He's not bad, but he's not great either. I mean, he's shaky. I watched the game last week against the Eagles, and you want to talk about potential interceptions? He threw a lot of potential interceptions. I mean, there were a lot of bad passes in there. And so it's going to be very interesting to see that game and how it plays out. And really the part that I'm going to be most interested in, the Giants on offense against the Dallas defense, who is going to outdo themselves, so to speak? Is the Dallas defense finally going to put up a game where they hold an opponent to 20 points, or are the Giants finally going to put up 30-something points to win a football game? I think that one's going to be the interesting one. And then in the nightcap, the Eagles, you would think that this would be relatively easy for Washington, except for two things. One, the Eagles are still working out Jalen Hurts, trying to figure out what they have with him. They like him. It's going to be good experience for him. So it's going to have a playoff atmosphere. And I think the Eagles are going to come to play. The problem for the Eagles is lots of injuries. So, they're playing shorthanded. That was part of their problem against Dallas over this past weekend. And then on the Washington side of the ball, they released Dwayne Haskins, which absolutely the right move. That guy was –
oh, yeah.
That guy is going to be playing in some schoolyard with Jamarcus Russell next week, because he just doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. And so they've got quarterback issues. Alex Smith may not be healthy, so they may be going down to their third string quarterback. I mean, it's a real issue for them offensively. And then, defensively, they're pretty good, but Jalen Hurts is pretty good too. So the NFC East is going to be the most interesting thing to watch this weekend.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With a bunch of 6-9 and 5-10 and 4-10-1 teams.
At this point, bro, records do not matter. It is win and in or win. Even for the teams in the AFC, records don't matter at this point. Like for Miami, but the Titans, records doesn't matter. It's you have to win. Plain and simple. This is the start of the playoffs, week 17. I'll say this: there'll be some teams that we probably think won't win or shouldn't win, but we got to understand there's players that are playing for a job next season or looking to get signed next season. So we'll see some of their best. I mean, I don't know which ones. I don't know for what team. So that's what makes the NFL so great and so interesting. And any given Sunday,
It's really interesting that in the AFC, we're going to have teams with great records, and one of them is not going to get in. And in the NFC, we're going to have three teams with terrible records playing for a chance to get in. It's the NFL at its best. Hey, I saw a Twitter poll yesterday, I think it was, or maybe it was this morning, and I'm going to put the question to you: which is the best team with a losing record?
Out of all the teams?
All the NFL. All of the NFL. So you got the Raiders, the Patriots, Chargers, Broncos, Bengals, Texans, Jets, and Jaguars in the AFC. And you have Washington, Dallas, Minnesota, San Francisco, Detroit, the Giants, Panthers, Eagles, and Falcons in the NFC. Who is the best team with a losing record? I'll let you pick two.
The best team with the losing record. Shit.
I thought this was.
I don't know, man. That's tough.
This is the easiest answer ever, Alex. Listen to me. It's the Washington football team. They're the only ones that control their own destiny for a shot at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but that doesn't make them the best team.
They're the best. They're the best. They have a losing record. And if they go on a 4-game win streak, they will be Super Bowl champions. 4 or 5.
Yeah, that is true.
So
that is true.
None of those other teams with a losing record can say that.
Yeah, that's true.
Anything else?
Like the Cowboys or something.
What?
I would have said the fucking Cowboys.
As I look around, if I was going to answer the question seriously, the Raiders, I think, are better than 7 and 8. I think the schedule just wore on them. The Chargers, once they get rid of their head coach, I think that they're going to be better. The Broncos had a lot of injuries this year, so they could be better. In the NFC, I kind of want to say Dallas because not having Dak Prescott, I think, is a big deal, but their defense is terrible. Another team, the 49ers. The 49ers had a ridiculous amount of injuries. And then the last team that I would throw in that category is, this is going to sound weird, the Falcons. The Falcons got rid of their coach in the middle of the season. Their point differential, -1. They're 4-11. And think about how many games they pissed away. If they could find a way to not blow games when they get a lead, and with a good coach this coming year, I mean, they could be a good team. So, and the Eagles too. The Eagles had a ton of injuries. Jalen Hurts looks good going forward. I mean, there's a lot of positives out there, even for teams that have losing records.
Yeah, I would have said the Falcons too.
Yeah. Except for the Jets. The Jets are a mess.
Did they fire Gase, or did they say they are going to fire Gase?
No, but I expect him to be a Monday morning casualty next week. Monday.
I thought I read that they said they're going to fire him after the season. Like it's already
decided. I had not heard that.
Okay.
Who do you think gets fired? Throw a couple of names out there. Now, the Texans and the Falcons have already fired their coach, so you can't say them. But who do you think loses their job? And let's start with the AFC.
Let's see. Who's in the AFC? Well, I mean, Gase should get fired. Jaguars may have a change of head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I think Anthony Lynn with the Chargers gets fired.
He's a goner. And he should be.
Yeah, he should be.
What about that Belichick guy in New England?
I would fucking leave if I was him.
No, I said
they're not gonna fire him, but I would leave.
Yeah, I think the Chargers have to make a change. I think the Jets have to make a change. And I think the Jaguars probably will make a change as well. What about in the NFC?
Well, I mean, the Lions already fired their coach, right?
Yeah. I was just gonna say the Lions have also already fired their coach.
Maybe the guy from the Vikings,
Yeah, I think Zimmer's gone. I think he's gonna
Zimmer.
get canned.
But that's about it, I think.
I think if Dallas loses, I think McCarthy is gonna get canned as well.
I don't know. Depends how close he is with Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I think he's a one and done.
Yeah, could be.
Um,
He'll have all the time to smash watermelons.
yeah. Who is the I forget the guy's name in Chicago. He may be a goner if they lose and do not make the playoffs.
Matt Nagy.
Yeah. I think he may be a goner as well if they lose. And you know what? This is going to sound terrible, but I wouldn't be surprised if Pete Carroll retires. I mean, Pete Carroll's 70. And I wouldn't be surprised if Arians retires as well or walks away if they don't do well.
Right. Yeah. Could be.
You got anything else in the NFL?
Nah, man, I'm just ready for week 17. Sit on my fucking couch and watch football all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay busy on Saturday.
Wait.
Huh?
No, I said I can't wait.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay busy on Saturday and take care of whatever I have to take care of. But yeah, come Sunday at noon, I am parking myself on that couch and I'm not moving until 10 o'clock at night. It's gonna be a good day.
Yeah, definitely.
It's always enjoyable when the football season comes down to this. You got anything else?
No.
All righty.
No.
Let's call it a wrap here. I know there's other sports going on like the NBA and a little bit of movement in MLB and hockey's about to start, but we'll get to that next week.
When is hockey starting?
January 13th.
Oh shit.
So can't wait. I can't wait to have everything going. NFL playoffs, NBA, NHL. Starting to hear trade rumors for the MLB season. I mean, that's good. That makes me happy. I don't want to hear about fucking COVID variant B1.1.7. I don't want to hear about again. Can you get the second COVID without getting the first COVID? Do you know?
I don't know. That's a great fucking question.
Because I think if you don't get
because I'll be like, hold on, Doc. I didn't get the first one yet. I can't be positive for the second one.
Yeah. No, and look, I understand COVID doesn't give a shit, but I like to do things in order. You know what I mean? I'm a very orderly guy. I'm an accountant. Things have an order and a place. And when I play softball, when I play baseball, and I hit the ball, I don't automatically run to second base, even if I know it's going to be a double. You know what I mean? If I yank one down the line, I don't run to second base. I go to first and then go to second and then maybe go to third, right? But no. So, if COVID variant B1.17 or whatever the hell it is, if that thing shows up at my door, I'm gonna be like, nah, man, we can't do it.
PEMDAS. You're gonna tell it PEMDAS.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, look, go out and find your fucking variant friend version 1 or whatever. Bring that sumbitch over, and we'll get that one done. I'll quarantine for a couple of weeks, and then you come back. It's like when the Jehovah's Witness show up at your door. It's like, not right now, man. It's just not a good time.
That's good.
Oh no. You're making me
call. Oh shit! Variant 1B has struck.
Maybe that variant 1 is already walking around this house. Alrighty, folks. As always, thank you very much for your patronage, for listening and watching the show. You can catch us on YouTube, Podbean, Google Play, iTunes, whatever podcast platform you choose. If you want to contact the show, you can email the show, positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of my brother, Alex, how do they do that?
On Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho 1.
Now, when you go to Brooklyn Gaucho 1 and you look at that timeline, you're going to see a lot of picks. Don't take any of them. You will lose whatever money you put on it.
I've done pretty well in football this season, so
Have you?
I think so.
I mean, I
would say so.
I see your stuff, but I don't track it, so I don't know. I don't bet that much, so I do follow a lot of gambling Twitter. I think it's hilarious, and I actually enjoy like seeing that stuff pop up on my timeline and all the crazy picks and all this other stuff. I enjoy it far more than I bet because I don't bet very much. But anyway, if you follow me,
no. Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go.
If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at eMontana21. Go ahead, say what you were going to say. I hate that I cut you off.
Oh, no, it's like a lag, but I don't know. I forgot, bro.
Yeah.
Just go.
I think you have COVID of the brain.
That's very possible. I might have had it my whole lifetime.
All righty, man. Well, hey, as always, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show today. And as always, folks, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.